as Bloop coming the line is not able to improve from that P20. Fanta up into P14. As Ozzy Joes does a 4 flat, does Fetch have any sort of response to the Ferrari? End of the grid now. It's 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. Osmond Jones gets a very good getaway there down towards turn 1. But Fetch looking towards the outside of Bigby. Very nice launch for the Red Bull and a very poor exit from turn 1 for the Alpine drivers. Going to see him under pressure from the Haas and the Red Bull up in the turn 3. Can Callum find a way around Bigby? He comes over and top Fetch. A little bit of contact behind. It's a V-carb. Or actually it's a Red Bull, sorry. Going very deep there. I believe that is Will who found the rear end of another car in front of him into turn 3. It was very easy to do with that braking zone. Titan is out of the session already. I don't know if he retired from leaving and disconnect or if he has been caught up in an incident there. But it's Vati now getting caught up with JDW and Fetch. Finds himself right in the middle as Callum got in the lead and I've completely missed it. Where's Tom? Oh, Tom's DC'd as we pull the tyres up. Everyone so far opting for the mediums apart from Dundell who's gone for the softs. Fetch now getting that better run out of turn 1 on Bigby, claiming the inside for turn 3. Little bit of contact there. But Fetch finds way past. Cam Vati sees the opportunity here with Bigby getting caught up in that battle. Not quite able to make it into turn 3. But he will have that second opportunity in the turn 4. As Bigby down the inside of Fetch goes for a lunge. Not quite able to make a stick on the Red Bull driver. But he's still going to be alongside him. Very tricky though to stick around the outside here. But he's going to commit to it. He's going to go the long way around. Try and use the mechanical grip of the car. But he just can't quite make it work. As Jon getting caught up in an incident in the midfield there. He has now dropped to the back of the grid. And already it is chaos in the opening laps as Panda now going for a move in the final 2 corners. And Umar up the inside of the final turn. Where has he pulled that from? As he never really see any moves there, but Panda's not going to have it. He's going to retake that position before turn 1. But will he be left vulnerable? Umar currently finds himself in a Mercedes sandwich as Walker's retired there. I believe that is from a disconnect. Umar up the inside of turn 3. Can he make the move stick on the Mercedes? Forcing them very wide there. Verstappen-esque. As Viva now trying to pick up the scraps of this battle ahead. He gets past one Mercedes, but he just can't seem to get away around the other. As Don Dow round the outside of turn 4, he is steaming around the outside, gets past the Mercedes, and he's going to claim the inside for the next left-hander. As Fetch's left, he's gone round. Are we having a restart? I believe we're having a restart. It's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Once again, Tom getting off the line well. And Fetch around the outside of Bigby, this time claiming that P2 before we even get to turn 1. There's a huge incident behind. I don't know who's got caught up in that. It was a Mercedes. It was Panda and Will, I believe, have been caught in that incident towards the back. As there was migrating host, so I think we'll have to keep an eye out for any desync. But Fetch trying to get around the outside of turn 4 on Bigby and comfortably just uses the fresh rubber in those tires. Claims the inside for turn 5. Bigby still trying to hang it around the outside. Fetch just about keeping it there. Bigby still not letting it go. It's not a place you usually see people try to battle, but he's still side by side trying to go the entire lap battling here on the inside for turn 9. And now Fetch still going around the outside. A little bit of contact there. But Bigby does eventually reclaim that P2, which should be activated from the next lap onwards. As Vi does look up the inside. A little bit of contact there with Fanta. Maldi seizes the opportunity there. Can he have a look at the Mercedes and try and get a 2 for 1? It's down towards turn 4. It's not quite close up. That was an Aston Martin behind. Throne Globe absolutely sending it in the turn 4 on Kieran in the other McLaren. As on the run the turn 1, Kieran burning the battery. Bloop goes defensive. Kieran tries to go for the long way round. Not quite able to get far enough alongside to make a stick. But he's still going to get a good run now up towards turn 3. And going for the outside line, trying to claim that race line on exit. Hangs it around, but Bloop just about managing to stay ahead as Walker has retired. It's kicked him again. And Tom's it. It's another red flag. Actually, we're not even starting the sprint this time. We're starting the main race. We have ended up scrapping the sprint, and it's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Tom gets away well, but Big B looks like he has a decent launch. He's up in the P1 this time round. Fetch on the outside, a little bit of contact there. Almost hooks Ferrari. Tom goes wide, trying to get that position back on Big B. Callum there trying to pick up some of the scraps in this battle in front. Can he have a look on the inside of turn 1, up in the P3? Gets up the inside of Fetch. A little bit of a rear end though. He gets hit by the Williams, has to go steaming up the inside of Big B. And that's resulted in Big B down in the P3. Oswald Jones back up in the P2, and the Williams is going to actually challenge race lead now. Down in the turn 1 on the inside. He breaks later than Oswald Jones. Tom goes for a switchback, but he just hasn't got the drive for it. And Captain JD has just come out of nowhere. 5 positions on the opening lap to pick up P1 in the feature race. As a generational start for the Williams, just being opportunistic on the instant in front. Big B there, the big victim of that incident though. Down in the P7, he has got Vati trying to find a way around him now. Down in the turn 9, can he have a look on the inside? He cannot, but someone is having a look on the inside behind. That's Will on Yon. Gets the position up in the P9. Little bit of contact there. It was now down towards turn 1. Will's getting a decent run on Vati by the looks of it. Not going to be close enough to have a look in turn 1, is he? He's just about far enough back. Walker and Fetch. So it's that Fetch round. Fetch has gone round. He's been caught in an instant with, I think, was Walker. As Oswald Jones retakes that race lead. Late move from the Haas up the inside. Callum barges into the side of Panda, but does claim that P3 as Captain JD is ghosted. I think he might have a little bit of contact there. As Will and Jon now down in turn 4. Jon down the inside. Stays there, but he's not going to get the drive at the corner. Or is he? Lovely exit there from the Aston Martin. Just about match Will, but he is going to claim the inside line. And Jon is going to have to back, or is he going to have to back out of it? No, he's steaming round the outside. And he makes the move. As contact though, he's turned it a little bit too early, and Jon's going round. And he's caught the Haas behind. Viva, I think, picks up a little bit of end plate damage. Jon, I'd imagine, is going to have something from that too. And it's caused a bit of a constante there in the turn now. We're almost 4 wide there. Kieran on the inside of the Mercedes. Little bit of wheel banging. And he's still on the inside. Again, a little bit of wheel banging. Not quite able to get the position on Fanta, who is going to be under pressure now from Kieran. Still in the turn 1. Down the inside for the McLaren. And he makes a stick. He forces Fanta the long way around now. And it's into the wall for both of them. That is damage for both drivers early on. Fanta just not getting the room there on the corner exit. And that's both of them having to throw, getting this huge spanner in the works in terms of strategy. Bloop on the inside. He wished for me to be replaced, so I do kind of have to hate watch him for this race. As Bov, I think, has got caught up in an incident there towards the back as we come down towards the final 2 corners. And no, Maldy's going to go around the outside of turn 9. He doesn't quite make a stick, but it's a very adventurous move there from the Cyber. Viva jumps into the pit lane. There is someone has gone round. I think it might be Fetch again. We've got Panda now coming into the pit lane. One of the first medium rounds to pull the trigger and make that stop, other than Viva, who I believe did have damage. We'll see, is he going to go to the hards, or is he going to try and 2-stop here? He's going to slap those hard compound tires on. I think he will probably try and go to the end from here. It's going to be a fair ask. 19 laps on those hard tires. Callum now up in the P2. Comfortably gets past JDW. Walker and Big B now battling behind. Big B picks up that P4, but he cannot get the drive out the corner. Obviously that racing line gives you the optimal traction. And he's going to have to try again in the turn 4. JDW ahead. Still battling with Callum. Callum on the outside, on the racing line. Both equal on the exit. Who's going to claim this next corner? All about commitment here if you will try and go around the outside, which the Williams is going to go for it. He's going to try and hang it out, but he just doesn't have the mechanical grip nor the tyre grip. They're going to lose a little bit of time. Panda, once again, clearing most of these guys comfortably. Is he going to get the undercut on Tom? This could be huge in terms of battling for the race win. Tom just ahead of him on exit now. He has cut down that gap massively. He's also going to have to save those tyres when it comes to the end of the race. As Will and Walker now up on the run to turn 3. Will dives late to the inside. He's going to claim the inside, try and take that racing line. And once again, the outside line is just proven to be optimal for traction. Walker with a great run, and that's going to give him an ideal position down into turn 4. Will's going to have a look to the inside, though. He's not letting this go without a fight. He wants that position. But once again, Walker, great defensive driving, placing the car well, and just getting that better drive on exit as a clinic from the Ferrari driver so far. We have, I believe, Jan and Dondal in a free car battle with, I believe, Maldi there towards the back. Oh, it's up the inside. That is a huge move. And there's contact. A little bit of wheel banging. Maldi's then lost the car, and that's seen him go off. That was an outrageous move they've gone for, to be fair, from the Aston Martin. I can't imagine the Sauber is going to be too pleased with that. The Panda, he's keeping within that 1 second range, but he's not really looking like he's going to challenge Tom really for the, especially while Tom's getting the DRS of these other cars. He's going to need to try and catch Tom clear. And Bloop's defending. There's a little bit of rear end from the Mercedes. Bloop on the 11 lap old hards is defending from Tom. It's not really his race, but he is going to still make Tom's life as difficult as possible as he does eventually get past down to turn 4 and should be able to stretch his legs. But now Panda needs to clear the V-carb as quick as possible. He's going to slow him down massively, and this could be crucial in terms of trying to keep with Tom and trying to really fight for that race win. And it already Bloop's slowing him down hugely. He's out of DRS as he goes towards the inside of turn 9. Bloop still on the outside. And he still tries to hang out on the outside. Catches the front left of Panda. I'd imagine the Mercedes man is not going to be too happy, but he does eventually get past Bloop. He is going to be under threat now from DRS, though, up towards turn 3, I'd imagine. Which Bloop, with those tyres, he is struggling to even get the car turned in for turn 1, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to really offset that second stop, unless the other guys also go for the 2 stop. He's going to be under threat now from Callum, down towards turn 1. And it's late on the brakes, up the inside, little bit of contact, wheel banging. He forces the Williams out. Big B's able to be opportunistic, pick up the scraps from that battle. And we'll see if he can have a little look now in the turn 3 on potentially a 2-for-1 cheeky Tesco meal deal, as Callum does manage to keep the position. As Walker is, the one benefit he will get from this is having that DRS to help keep the other cars behind. As now he's going to go to the outside. Obviously, Walker has been getting exceptional drive at the corner. He seems to have really good traction at that setup. And Bloop shunts him wide. There's not very much space left for the Ferrari on the outside. As Will now is going to have his turn at trying to get up the outside of turn 4. Bloop still forcing him the long way around. But he does get that drive, and on the fresher tyres, and will be able to claim that inside line. As Bloop's still hanging it around the outside, to be fair to him. I don't know how he's keeping with the Red Bull on those older tyres. Little bit of wheel banging there. But he is still hanging it around, and eventually does have to concede position through no real fault of his own. In fact, now up the inside of turn 3, he's going to claim that final podium position. And now he just has to focus on getting that good run down towards turn 4. He's going to be under threat from the Red Bull's DRS. Lovely Will has been making a lot of lunges this race. We know he's comfortable on the brakes on the current setup, as there's that Big B behind going for a late lunge to turn 4 on Walker. And he's managed to catch up with them being held up by Bloop there. Pinpointed every single time. As Viva and Globe, there's like a 5-car battle back here. 4P9, both retires in the pits. As Titan has a little half look there in the turn 5, not really making any inroads. Jan and Viva now. Viva's going to try and hang it around the outside. Jan up the inside. And makes that move very comfortably. Umar's going to have a look at the outside of Viva down towards turn 9. And they're both going to go towards the outside of Jan, who's going to dive into the pits. I just have to try not to make any contact there with the Aston Martin. Extremely close call there with the Haas, nearly just clipping that front left. I'd imagine it could either result in the Haas spinning or even the front left just being shaved straight off of that Aston Martin car. On pit exit now, we have got Panda has boxed before Tom again, as Callum now jumps into the pit lane. Tom responding to Panda now, jumps into the pits just to try and cover off as much of that undercut as he can. Panda once again on the undercut is finding himself in traffic. He's got front Globe on 10 lap old hards. Globe not putting up too much of a fight. He's not going to make it too difficult for him. But Tom now on the pit exit. Panda in the turn 1. What's gap down to? As Tom's still got a very comfortable cushion. It's still 2.5 seconds. As Vatty now up the inside of turn 3. He has a look. He goes for it. But he's not quite able to make the move on Bloop there. Who once again could prove to be a bit of a mobile chicane for these drivers to try and navigate. Up the inside of Umar, little bit of tyre banging, very deep, it almost forces the Cyber off of the track. Nearly. Vatty now is going to try and switch to the inside, switch back in turn 6. What a move from the McLaren, you don't see that very often. But that is one of the best examples you're going to see. What a move from Vatty. As now Bloop's going to be under pressure in the turn 9 from Umar. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. The Cyber's going to send it. He's not quite able to find the gap there to really fit his car. Getting a little bit loosey-goosey there in the fast right-hander. Very easy to have the rear just step out on you. As Callum going 2 for 1 down in the turn 1. Thank you very much. He takes that calm as like. But he's going to find himself now under pressure. He's not going to have that DRS, which is huge on the run. But he could be saved by that yellow flag. As Bloop now goes up the inside, absolutely clarts the Haas. Umar gets forced off, and that's not. He did not safely join lane. This time with Big B, who we know is not afraid of a fight. We've seen him and Fetch going at it very early on in the race. And now we're hoping to see some more fireworks. Again, a really poor camera angle. But Fetch now following Big B through in the turn 1. Bloop goes wide, starting to struggle with those 9 lap old medium tyres. And now he should hopefully find himself under pressure from JD. As Big B up the inside of Fetch, who's trying to use that DRS to get a bit of a gain on the outside. Fetch getting the better traction though, but Big B does have the DRS somehow. So down in the turn 4, he's going to have that extra 10 kilometers an hour. And on the inside, late on the brakes, can he force Fetch a long way around? He does, but Fetch gets an immense drive there, still side by side in the turn 6. Big B is going to hang it round the outside. Does he have the grip on those tyres? Not quite, as Fetch does pick up that P5 position. And now Big B's going to have to look in those rear view mirrors, try and keep an eye on where Will is in the Red Bull, and Will is past him to really try and recover. Panda having another very good result in terms of his championship. He should be maintaining the lead. Fetch getting the overtake done with the DRS before turn 3, as Kieran picks up another 3-second time penalty. Walker up the inside. Williams going to hang it around the outside, keep that racing line and get a decent drive. We know Walker has had really good traction though with that setup, and Cal now is going to get the rear wing open. He's also getting quite low on the RS balance. Picks the outside, he wants the racing line to get that better drive. He's going to try and hang out a little bit of wheel banging. But let's say the Robin is racing. Big B is going to keep that position now at P6. As looks like actually from Fetch spinning down the P19 early on in the race, with the 3-second that Vatty has, we could potentially see Fetch on the podium, which would be a sensational recovery drive. The Ferrari of Aussie 1 Jones rounds the final 2 turns. He's managed to navigate the Mercedes boys, throwing the undercut at him. He's dominated this race. Aussie 1 Jones wins the Austrian Grand Prix, and he's going to be hoping to keep that momentum now, coming back off the 2-week break. What a drive from the Ferrari. We have Vatty now, he's going to claim that P3 on track, but Fetch, with a huge recovery drive from P19 on lap 1, is going to come back and claim that podium. P5 for his Red Bull teammate. Callum's going to come to the line, he's going to keep that position over Big B in the end. Captain JD is going to jump them both, and Walker. Fanta and Viva. Fanta come through in 11th. They both did manage to snatch that position on front Globe on the final lap. Don Dahl gets the position on Globe after penalties. Bloop's going to come through for P14. Umar, on 21 seconds of penalties, is going to claim the final point scoring position on track. I'm a bit bamboozled as to how Kieran has ended up behind Malday. That's an interesting one. But he's going to actually claim that final point scoring position. Kieran Aquino being a generational bottle job once again. And Titan rounding us off with 48 seconds of track limit penalties. And he's trying to pick up a few more. We've got 51 seconds of track limit penalties. Oh, the game is so gone.